Hi, welcome. My name is Elizabeth Tutton, and today I'll be talking to you about Waxahachie, Texas, its histories and hauntings. Today, I hope to share a little bit of Waxahachie's history and how it got its tales of hauntings in some of the buildings. Most folks say there is no paranormal life. However, I think some of the locations in Waxahachie would change the minds of even the greatest skeptics. Let's start with how Waxahachie's history started and where their name derives from. Waxahachie had many Indian tribes that followed the creek bed throughout Ellis County. The name Waxahachie originated from the Indian term meaning Buffalo Creek. Waxahachie, as you will learn on the next slide, had settlers that migrated cattle along the Waxahachie Creek. It was the cattle drive that went from Texas to Kansas, putting our name and our city on the maps. Waxahachie's background. Historically, Waxahachie and Ellis County relied heavily on agricultural and cattle, just like I had said earlier, particularly cotton, which led to the area being named the Banner Cotton County of the world. The economy flourished in the late 1800s and early 1900s, leading to significant construction, including the development of downtown and the residential neighborhoods with Victorian homes. The completion of our historic Ellis County Courthouse in 1895 remains a prominent landmark attracting visitors worldwide. The Great Depression in the 1930s led to a decline in the cotton demand, causing many of the cotton-related industries to close. Post-World War II, Waxahachie transitions into the automobile age, benefiting from its strategy located at the intersection of major highways, US 77, US 287, and later Interstate 35. Which led to our local economy and facilitated great commercial and residential growth. You might ask how all this relates to a haunting background. Well, now let me take you along the journey of those generational stories still told today about Waxahachie and its history. Because Waxahachie has so much history, as we have discussed, you can only imagine the depth of it and its surroundings. The land is known to be haunted by the Indian tribes that once settled here along the banks of the creek. The cotton boom brought some of our historic buildings to town, but the people brought the hauntings and tales that stay. Waxahachie's courthouse history and its story. As said before, the boom allowed for many developments in Waxahachie, one being the great courthouse, a tale as old as it is. Its faces that sit upon its wall. The courthouse was replaced in 1893. That used to be a old wooden building with a courthouse that now stands in downtown. The German stonemasons outside of Dallas, run by Theodore Belhars, was hired to complete the intricate designs that are on the walls and the archways. Belhars had 3 of his men work on the design that now takes place on the walls. The faces that sit on the wall of the Waxahachie Courthouse are thanks to Harry Hurley. When you take a walk along the courthouse walls, you will notice 20 to be exact faces of Mabel Frame. The tale goes that Harry falls in love with a local boarding house owner's daughter, Mabel Frame. However, it's said that Mabel strung Harry along in his infatuation for her and eventually turned him down for someone more local. So the story told is that he sculpts her as a perfect angel and slowly turns her into the devil to show how she deceives him with her actions. The tales for these faces have changed over the years, and only if the walls could talk could they tell us if the haunting stories was true or not. Now, to move on, right across the road on the square is Rogers Hotel. Its history starts in 1847 with the building of a log cabin built for the founder of Waxahachie, Emory Rogers. He then replaced the log cabin with a 2-story hotel in 1856. However, it was sadly lost to a fire in 1881 that took quite a bit of the town. In 1911, Waxahachie Real Estate and Building Association built a new two-story building, replacing the one that burnt down in a mysterious fire. It then succumbed to another mysterious fire that same year. In 2012, it was rebuilt to be absolutely fireproof and still currently stands, but that hasn't stopped the mysterious fires from happening. It has only stopped it from burning to the ground. When they rebuilt the hotel, it was built with a rooftop garden and basement pool. A fun fact about Rogers Hotel is that it was pictured in multiple movies, showing off its grand entrance and stairway. Although Rogers Hotel has many guests that never left, I want to tell you about a few of them. Rogers Hotel's hauntings and their guests. The basement pool was said to shut down after the drowning of a little girl. Some say she was the owner of the hotel daughter. Some say just a guest. Her story says she is haunting the basement floor, which houses the empty pool and maintenance area and staff break room. In a separate section now, it is a old-fashioned arcade and a bathroom, and it used to be used for billiards and at a barber shop. The second ghost is said to be a maintenance worker that unfortunately took his own life in the elevator shaft. He is said to ride the elevator even if it is not working, which is most of the time. Most people don't dare to get on it. Now to move along. In room 409, if you dare to stay, you will have stories like many. There are walking footsteps and cigar smokes that linger. He is told to be a cowboy that stayed in the town and got into a brawl after a casino night and didn't ride out of town that night. The last one I will share with you is the forbidden third floor. It is said that every night you step onto the stairs, you ascend to the top. You feel an unwelcoming presence and wanting to immediately leave. There are claims that there is a female that her husband took her life, finding out about her alleged affairs. Although all these are nothing but stories told by the guests that have dared to stay there or staff that has encountered these paranormal ghosts, I can tell you by firsthand I've experienced a few of them and have even dared to stay in room 409 where I have experienced the footsteps and doors opening by themselves. Now, if you think you're truly brave enough, you can take a drive just right down the road to Water Street, where Waxahachie's #1 haunted location sits, the Catfish Plantation. Catfish Plantation was built by a farmer in 1895. It was residential area from 1895 to 1970. It was part of the beautiful Victorian homes that sprinkled across Waxahachie. For a very brief time, it was also an unsuccessful doctor's office. In 1970 to 2023, it then turned into our famous haunted restaurant that is featured on several paranormal investigation shows. The Catfish Plantation has had quite a few of owners over its lifetime and has also undergone several mysterious fires. Catfish Plantation and its ghostly stories. One of the previous owners in the 1900s passed away of old age in her home and never left it. Her name is Caroline. Caroline is known by the staff at first for being very friendly. She used to politely move things where she didn't want them to be. She soon changed from patient to impatient, with her actions starting to throw things and pushing others out of her way. She also doesn't approve of alcohol at all in her home, and always broke every wine glass that was ever there. Our second ghost has a sad tale. It is of a bride with a gruesome background and is looking for forever sympathy. Her name is Elizabeth. Unfortunately, Elizabeth's life was taken from her on her wedding day by her jealous ex-boyfriend. She first appeared during a seance and is known to play with children that visit the restaurant. It is also known that you can hear her crying in the women's bathroom that currently stands. She typically hangs out in the front living room area by the window that overlooks the street. Our last ghost is told to be a farmer from the Great Depression. Will is his name. He is known to stay on the porch, and when anyone tries to get too close, he disappears. But if you ever drive up to the catfish plantation, he is usually the first resident you will see. Although you cannot dine at the catfish plantation anymore, if you're interested enough, the property is a huge part of Waxahachie's haunting history and up for sale. This is only a peek of a few hunting locations that are throughout the city of Waxahachie. Our quaint town, even if you're not a believer of the paranormal, has a ton to offer all our visitors, even the ones that stay forever. Thank you for learning some history about Waxahachie and a few spooky tales that have been told for generations.